So Daniel, thank you so much for making yourself available to be interviewed today. So my first question really is, can you tell us a little bit about what you do and what your role was in the EU versus virus project?
Hi, Anna. Thanks for having me here. So at the Hackathon project, the responsible for the IT infrastructure. So in a hackathon, you obviously have different phases of the hackathon. So you have basically pre-hackathon, during the hackathon, and after the hackathon. And so I was leading the infrastructure questions regarding, okay, how can we do the onboarding process? How does the registration form look like? How can we make it scalable so that many thousands of potential participants can register simultaneously? Answer the question of how can the participants communicate with each other, how can they communicate with us, and afterwards also how can they submit their project. Yeah. And in my day job, I'm actually a senior consultant at Infomotion in Frankfurt, and I'm there for data engineering and cloud architecture.
All right.
It was quite a good fit, in my opinion, because I was very intrigued by the technical question about scalability, and that's my area of expertise. So, yeah.
That sounds really exciting. I mean, there were many teams involved in this. So how quickly were the teams formed? What were your challenges at the time?
So first, let me ask you a question back. Do you mean with the teams, do you mean the teams at the hackathon who really participated? Or do you mean the organization team?
I mean the organization team, the team
Okay.
you worked with and the team you were involved with.
It started like really small when Oliver Brümmer came up to me and had this idea and said he would propose it to the European Commission. And then we started with like 20 people, and then still we actually didn't need much organization. But then 4 days later, we had the first call with the European Commission, and many people around Europe who already planned hackathons or already hosted hackathons. And then we were like, suddenly, a blink of an eye, we were like 200 people. And then we had to come up with some kind of organization. And actually, we had just this one really big call on Zoom. Was it WebEx? Doesn't matter actually. But we talked about, okay, what we did a bit of preparation. How could teams look like? So what could be their responsibility? And then for some teams, it was pretty obvious who will be the one, because there was a lot of preparation already done in the 4 days.
Yeah.
For this call. But then also we did like a virtual raise of the hand who wants to join this group or who wants to lead this group, and actually worked pretty well. And then we had like for each of the teams we had like 3 to 4 people. We were like 10 teams in the beginning, and a lot of people who were undecided, and they just then asked the responsible people if they could join and if they could help. But yeah, we just formed like sub teams, and the core team was just like 3 people, 10 teams, something like this. And we had actually daily stand-ups where we did a lot of inter-team communication,
right?
Because obviously that there was a bit left out when you built those silos.
Yes.
It's also like because it's like all remote and we didn't know each other. It's like
yeah.
It also strengthens the borders between the silos. So
right. Okay. And how did you overcome your challenges?
First of all, I think very important was to define the responsibilities in the teams.
Yes.
And to also have clear responsibilities. But that's also like, then you had the new challenge that you had those silos.
Right. Yeah.
And we did those daily stand-ups.
Right.
And also, what also was a big challenge is that there were many volunteers, and also like many people just wanted to be involved, right? But then also like an organization just has this capacity and this work to do.
Yes.
And although it were volunteers, after a while I just said no. it is more effort to onboard someone new in the team than to let them be involved, and that brings no benefit. And also, of course, because we were like all had different backgrounds and so on, that obviously sparks disagreements a little. It was always very professional, because I think we all were focused on the same goal. And I think what really, so we were very pragmatic with these disagreements, and in the end it was just really a democratic votes when we came to big disagreement. But then again, this common goal really brought us forward here.
Right. So the common goal of actually doing something about this dreadful virus really helped you to energize and to propel you forward, right? So what was it like to work with people you've never had work before?
I guess bonding was at first a bit more difficult than normally is, because it's even more easy when you look each other in the eye via camera, but for when you're like in a call with 50 people or 100 people, that's more difficult. You lose all your gut feeling and your first impression, and that makes it a bit more difficult to build the trust. But I guess because we're all in the same situation, and also again we had the same focus, we actually responded with openness, and really we actually became friends when we all opened up and talked about personal topics, and that was really beautiful, I guess, because I think now in the Corona crisis, it's sometimes so difficult to really have these personal topics come up, because to see each other also in a professional area, you see each other only in calls and in some online meetings. But normally when you are in the office together, you meet each other when you drink a coffee or during lunch or something like that. When you integrate that openness and that personal communication, it already gets much better.
So did you have some time together where you just talked about personal things, or was it part of your discussions on Zoom?
I think we really took the time. So we it was like not totally planned, but a bit like we started somehow, and then it was like implicit inside every.
Yes. So you achieved a lot in a very small period of time. Can you just tell us a little bit of what you achieved?
So actually, for the hackathon, we had like 21,000 participants. We had actually we broke a world record with the most submissions, so the most team solutions for Corona, with over 2,000 solutions. So that was pretty impressive. And also, as I said, for me personally, were also a few achievements involved. So architecture was actually pretty scalable. So that's from a technical point of view. But also like a goal for me was building a network, and also that I achieved pretty well, I guess.
Fantastic. So it was a personal gain as well as a gain for humanity, so to speak.
Yeah, it was win-win-win.
A win-win-win. That is fantastic. Yeah. So what do you think, Daniel, can organizations learn from the success of this project? What do you think might be the learning from it?
But one thing I just mentioned before is like make room for personal conversations. For example, what I've seen with other companies, they did just like a quarter of an hour per day after lunchtime. They just had a call and just talked about personal topics.
Yes. And
really just take the time and don't talk about work then. When you talk about work, just go in another call, right?
Yes.
And so that's, I think, very, very good to also build trust, especially if you're a newcomer in the company.
So agile decision making was enhanced during this time, and also a real focus on purpose. You mentioned purpose powering what you were doing. So these are very, very important learnings from this time. And thank you so much for being interviewed.
Thanks for having me.